Fresh new CBS News polling on the economy is bad news for President Trump. It shows most Americans are dissatisfied with the White House's approach to economic issues. 67% say they disapprove of Mr. Trump's handling of the economy, and 57% say the president's policies are making them financially worse off. CBS News Elections and Surveys Executive Director Anthony Salvanto breaks down more of our CBS News polling.
We've seen the president's ratings on inflation, ratings on handling the economy drop. Here's in particular what people see as impact on the economy from the administration's policies. And you see, we asked in both the short term and the long term, because the administration has urged some patience. Well, in the short term, you see a big 2/3 saying their policies making the economy worse, but not that much more optimism in a relative way for the long term either. Keep your eye on that, of course, as we head into this midterm year. I'm going to show you the line chart. The president's handling of inflation, that has now dropped down to 27%. That's all driving what I just showed you about policies. Now, here's the bigger picture, too, in comparison. You get both parties, Democrats and Republicans, who are net negative on being viewed as having policies that will help your cost of living. Yes, the Democrats have a relative edge, but since both are net negative, that certainly sets up at least a debate heading into the midterms about whether or not people and voters feel like either party can help what they describe as an ongoing problem with cost of living.
All right, Anthony, thank you for that. Your second appearance in the show. Joining us now to discuss this and more, Democratic strategist Michael LaRosa and Republican strategist Kevin Sheridan, both joining us from our Washington bureau this Monday. Gentlemen, good Monday morning to you both. Kevin, let's start with you because 7% of Americans are either 70, I should say, of Americans percent are either frustrated or angry with President Trump's specific approach to the economy. So how can the administration turn that around?
Well, those are not great numbers, obviously, but the big winner in the poll might be neither, because neither party seems to have a clear answer for how to get this this inflation picture and this cost of living, affordability, whatever you want to call it, in check. So, the president's policies have just taken effect, so we do have to play it out and see how long this will take. But a lot of the anxiety in that poll was also seen over the weekend in Eric Schmidt being booed at a commencement speech where he's talking about the future of AI and how great it's going to be for these graduates, or Ken Griffin at Citadel saying he's already replacing PhD level, seven-figure executives. This is scaring everybody. Everybody's worried about the economy. Neither party seems to have a really good answer for it right now. So there is a window where if the economy, improves in the short term, Republicans do still have a chance at the midterms, but it's a tough picture right now.
Yeah, if you're delivering a commencement address, don't mention the benefits of AI. Apparently, the kids do not like it. Michael, no. I have a question for you, but first I want to play some sound of Pennsylvania Democratic Governor Josh Shapiro.
People are struggling as a result of his tariffs and as a result of his war of choice in Iran, which I oppose and which is driving up the cost of food and fuel and much more. I'm fighting every day to put money back in people's pockets. Unfortunately, Trump keeps taking it out.
So what do you make of that? The governor there tying economic concerns directly to the president's policies, but should Democrats spend more time perhaps discussing their own plans about what to do about it rather than attacking the president?
Yes, absolutely. I think we can't rest on this notion that voters will tire of Trump. I think that elections are about change. The last couple of elections have all been about change. They've all been defined by change. So Democrats need to articulate why they are different from what's being offered today by the Republican Party. And they need to articulate how they're going to legislate affordability. We can't just say the term affordability over and over again. You have to articulate how you're going to make life more affordable for people. And I think, judging by your poll, the public doesn't seem to view Democrats as a definitive alternative to what we have now. If they did, those numbers would look a little different. And given the conditions for the president, for the Republicans, Democrats have all the tools in the toolbox to have a big wave election year with recruitment, with money, with organization, but that's not reflected so far in the polling, and that's a little bit of a concern.
And Kevin, President Trump railed against Kentucky Republican Congressman Thomas Massie in a Truth Social post we want to show to our viewers. And now we want to play some sound of how Massie responded on ABC News yesterday.
I think that's going to help my fundraising at thomasmassie.com. Every time he tweets about me, it's good for, some money coming in, because people don't like that.
And we just saw Senator Bill Cassidy lose his primary in Louisiana. Massie, of course, has been behind the release of the Epstein files in Congress and a bipartisan approach to pressure the administration to release more documents. So how worried should he be, and really any other Republican who chooses to openly defy the president?
Well, Massie's a very unique case. He's kind of a unicorn in that he occupies this very specific corner of the libertarian-aligned right, and that sometimes sides with Trump and sometimes it doesn't. So he's gotten a lot of outside, he's gotten a lot of small dollar money, and he's facing a lot of outside big donor money in that race. It's a very expensive race now, and it's become personal between Trump and Massie. It'll be interesting, but it's hard to broaden that out to other. Cassidy was a bit of a different situation. He voted for impeachment. He defied the president a bit on the RFK selection. So, yeah, the Massie one will be fascinating to a certain segment inside the Republican Party, but he really is on his own block.
But it's a fascinating moment on the Republican side. And Michael, this question will be for you, because even with the president's poor ratings on the economy, his endorsements still propel candidates to victory. So how concerned should Democrats really be about what's coming in November?
It's a factor that Democrats need to take into consideration as we're looking at the map. As we saw in Indiana, Louisiana, as there's another test for the president on Tuesday, but the loyalty to him and his agenda and his coalition seems to be very durable. And if he can transfer that over in the fall, the Democrats will face a tough time. So I think that it's definitely something that Democrats need to consider going forward and to look at how united at least the Republicans are internally. And that was not the case when President Biden, when we lost the House in 2022, President Biden's popularity wasn't as popular among Democrats as Trump's are among Republicans.
We'll see what unfolds. Kevin Sheridan and Michael LaRosa, thanks for being with us.